Hi there. In this tutorial, we're going to be continuing our tutorial series on AI at zombies. First off, I wanted to apologize for the time I've taken, but it's better late than never. So let's get on with it. In this video, what we're going to be seeing is basically how to make the zombie lose a player once he stops perceiving him. So if you cannot see him or hear him, we want after some time, you want the zombie to lose a player. So what we're going to basically do is that if the zombie is not perceiving the player, we're going to be counting a timer, and if that timer reaches a certain threshold, which we're going to define in seconds, say 10 seconds. After 10 seconds, the zombie is going to go back to its wander state. So yeah, basically that's it. It's actually quite simple. So to do this, we're going to open our AI example, which I already have open here. We're going to want to create a bool, which is private bool is detecting equals false. So we're going to start as false. The difference between is aware and is detecting is that is aware is basically defines that if the zombie is aware, while detecting means if the zombie is currently perceiving. There's a difference between these two if we're going to want the zombie to be able to lose a player. If the zombie stops detecting the player, stops perceiving it, he will remain aware for a few seconds until the threshold we reach a threshold, which we're going to define in another variable. So if it's 10 seconds that the zombie stops detecting the player, this will be counting, and is detecting will be false, but is aware will be true until we reach the threshold, and then it will be false, and then it will start doing the wander. So we're going to define this bool. We're also going to want to define a float, which is a threshold. The threshold in seconds until we lose the player. So this threshold would be lose threshold, and we're going to make it 10 seconds. Now time in seconds until we lose the player after we stop detecting it. Right. So we're gonna make is detecting true when is aware is true. However, we're also gonna want to make is detecting false as soon as we stop seeing him. For example, we're gonna want to do an else here. Else is detecting equals false. We also want to do another else here. Detecting equals false. And also an else is detecting equals false. So yeah, basically eliminates it in terms of the site. And yeah, now the next thing that we want to do is, well, basically what we just did here is if we're not seeing a zombie, then we want to make sure that we're not detecting him, right? So, but we're still aware. So say the player goes outside the line of sight of the zombie, say he's here, but it's still within the threshold, the zombie will keep chasing him even though he's not within the line of sight. If 10 seconds pass and the player was outside the line of sight of the zombie within those 10 seconds, then we want to obviously make him go back to the wander state. So that's what we're going to do now. So now we're going to do an if within our is aware, if within update, and we're going to want to check if is detecting is false. So if detecting is false, we're going to want to count our timer. We're going to want to do another variable, which is going to be a float, and it's going to be our timer. Private float lose timer. I'm going to make it equal 0. If is detecting equals false, lose timer plus equals time.delta time. We're starting our timer. We're counting our seconds. And if lose timer is bigger than or equal to 10, or actually our lose threshold, Then we want our aware is aware to equal false. Basically, that's that. So yeah, and we also want to reset our timer. Lose timer equals 0. Oh, and we're also going to want to reset our lose timer when we're unaware. So lose timer equals 0 here as well. So I think that should do the trick. Okay, so here I am back, and after debugging for a little while, I realized that there are a couple of issues. First, we're missing an if here. We need to make another if else here. If else is detecting equals false again. So make sure that we make that false for all of it. And the next thing is that we need to move this search for player outside this else, because this is only executing. The funny thing is that this search for player is only executing when we're not aware, right? Now the problem is that we change is detecting state to false when we are aware, and we also need to check the line of sight. So search for player now needs to be executed regardless if we're aware or not. So having done that, now it should work. If we check here, I put the lose threshold to 2 seconds, so we're gonna lose a zombie. He's gonna see us, and then we're gonna move outside his line of sight, and we're gonna lose him within 2 seconds. So now he saw me, and now I'm gonna go outside his line of sight for a couple seconds, and there he lost me. And if I go and do noise, he's gonna lose me after 2 seconds again. He's gonna chase me, and then I'm gonna run again. After a couple seconds, he's gonna lose me. Obviously, that is unrealistic, so you're gonna probably want to modify this threshold to like 10 or 15, or how much time you want the zombie to chase. So yeah, basically that's that. I hope you learned something, and I hope it was useful. I'll be continuing soon, going on over how to make damage to the zombie, so stay tuned for that.